Welcome to episode 9 of Opportunity Knocks. Incredible. 9 episodes. And this one's good because this is, look, this is what I preached at the beginning. I'm going to be brutally honest. We're going to talk about the failures just as much as I talk about the successes. And there's been a lot of failure. And that's all good. That's part of the journey of building a business. And I'm ready to share it with you now. So let's get right into it. So what were the biggest mistakes I made so far? The first one I'm going to tell you is it has to do with the YouTube account that I have. So I ran YouTube ads. So let me back up. I took a class on YouTube about 2 months ago, and I learned as much as I can, kind of a crash course. I learned a ton, and it really excited me because YouTube has so much potential for businesses, and so much so that because of that class that I took and what I learned, I know that people are just not doubling down on YouTube, and they should be. Remember, Google bought YouTube, right? So YouTube is the second largest search engine, meaning everybody knows when somebody needs something, they go to Google and they search. And that's why Google's a multi-billion dollar company, trillion it might be. But YouTube is the same thing. People prefer watching a video than looking at a website. So YouTube is going to continue to dominate, and I believe will be the number one search engine in 5 years. That's my prediction. I think it's going to be where everybody goes to search for things because people want short, quick videos. I mean, look at it for golf as an example. If I need a quick fix, which I need a lot, I'll go to YouTube and I'll search, how do I get rid of the shanks? I hate to admit it. And a bunch of websites come up. A bunch of videos come up. And I click on those videos and I watch it. And the one that I like, the one that I can relate to, I'll start watching it. And guess what? I subscribe to that channel. I now become part of that person who I didn't know before, part of their database. So apply that to your business now. So I took this class and I'm like, man, there's so much potential with YouTube that I had a digital marketing company. I didn't even realize the amount of potential in this. And the game changed a lot when Google bought YouTube because they wanted to turn it into a search engine, which is what they're doing right now. So just keep that in mind. And so now back to my mistake. So one of the things they didn't teach you in that class, because it wasn't really an advanced class, is the specifics, the tactics, like, for example, the type of video to make. I knew I wanted to make a video that people resonated with, that connected with people, but I didn't go into that. They didn't go into the titles and the thumbnails that you have to put. And those are the most important things. So all my titles are whacked out. They're all wrong. And that's okay. I'm going to fix that. I'm doing it right now. So by next week, I'll have all new titles. I'll have all new thumbnails, which is the most important thing. And the other thing, and this is the biggest mistake I made, is I ran a promotion. I ran 2 promotions on 2 different videos. So I got a total of about, I think, 1,800 or 1,900 subscribers from the promotion I ran. I hired a guru when it comes to YouTube, and I paid him a lot of money. And in a short amount of time, he basically critiqued my page, which I told him, be brutally honest with me and beat me up. That's what this is for. I don't want to hear how good it is and how fast I've grown and that, I want to hear about what I need to do to improve. And he said, you shouldn't be running paid promotions for your brand. You shouldn't do that promotions, which I'm not buying these, I am technically buying them, but I'm not buying like a list of subscribers. I'm running ads. People saw the video and then click subscribe. But so out of the 5,900 subscribers that I have, there's about 1,500, 1,600, because not all of those subscribers are not going to be, some of them will be good. They'll actually like my content and want to follow it. But he said most of those are just people that'll just click it. So that was a mistake. So again, everything is organic. You want to be organic on this. You don't want to do any paid promotion. Lesson learned. That was mistake number 1. And I asked him, I said, should I go through and scrape and get rid of those paid subscribers? And he said, don't do that. He goes, it's so small still, and you're just still, 65 days into it. Not even. Then he goes, don't do that. Don't, just let it ride. But moving forward, now I know what to do. So you're going to see some changes to my YouTube page, including my banner and things like that. That's all based on an expert that gave me advice and coached me through this. So that was mistake number one. Mistake number two has to do with networking. All right. So I've gone to a lot of networking events. I've posted about some of them, and these are great. And I'm not going to knock any of them. It's just you got to pick the right type of networking event for you and for your business and for where you are in your career, And, some of the ones that I went to were, I like to say, like almost like a Groundhog Day type of thing where it's the same thing every week. You can just see it's very repetitive, and and that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to build relationships, but not to, spend a week every week, one day to go and have that kind of Groundhog Day kind of networking. So one of the groups I'm joining is a once a month, and that's 6 Degrees of Golf. It's great. And there's no requirement to put, you have to fill forms out. I'm not going to be in a group like that. That's just not what I'm looking for. And it's not my style, but some people it's good for. Now, if I decide to hire salespeople, that might be a good way for them to start and to get in it, because they are good. All networking is good. It's just what's right for you and your business, So the mistake I made is, and it's not really a mistake so much, but it's really what I learned is be very selective with the groups that you decide where you go to. Because remember, in order for these groups to work, you have to give. You can't just take. You can't just get business. You have to give business. And if you're in all these groups, you're in 10 of them, it's impossible to give to each one of them. So you got to be selective, and you got to be realistic with your bandwidth and how many you can attend and be effective at. So that was the second mistake that I made. And the third mistake is, I'm going to say, and again, these podcasts are so good because of the people I'm interviewing and I'm bringing in. I'm learning from them. And Michael Udine had an amazing podcast. So if you haven't seen his, go watch it again. He's really amazing guy. And Michael said to me, preparation. That's his number one thing. He goes, I want you to be prepared, and whatever it is, just preparation. And I'm like, man, you know what? That's good advice. And here's number 3 mistake. I wasn't prepared doing some of my podcasts. Now, I don't want to be prepared, meaning scripted and going through. I don't want that. I want these to be very conversational stuff, but preparation as in, I'm a one-man show, right? So I'm coming here. I don't have an assistant doing the lighting and do this. I'm doing it all. And part of what I'm doing now is setting up everything before. So I pull the sprinter into the office, and I just did a podcast with Michael Wild, who will be coming out shortly in the next couple of weeks. It was great, man. Mike Wild, for those of you who don't know, he's in I think he's in 14 different nonprofits he's involved in. He gives back so much, and he owns a probate company. Mike, he gets there, I get there, and I realize I left my stand for my camera that goes to Mike. I left it in my house, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in his parking lot. I'm set up, I'm ready to go, and I'm scrambling now. And I felt bad because Mike was sitting there seeing me kind of scramble like this, but it was just a mistake. Again, I value his time. I want to put good content out there. When you see his podcast, because I'm going to put it out there still, you're going to notice the angle's not very good because the cell phone was resting on like an energy drink or something. It was not good. So I'm not proud of that, but it is what it is. But anyway, those are the 3 big, I'd say, learning objectives that I had. I went through it. I made mistakes. I learned from it. And again, now I got to just do it better. And that's part of business. That's part of growing. And, you're not going to get everything perfect in the beginning. I mean, look, the YouTube, in my opinion, has been a success, but it was a reality check. I had a little bit of humble pie after I had this meeting because he said, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this. And, a lot of it had to do with, like I said, the thumbnails, the titles, the descriptions, what to put in the descriptions, and the overall branding of it. But I'm getting that fixed now, and you're going to see how that comes out next week. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, that's I think that's enough of the mistakes, but I'm going to keep this podcast short. This is episode 9. Episode 9. I was going to say, this is episode 9. And one other thing. I went live for the first time with Mike, and I realized if you go live on YouTube, you can't. I do 2 cameras on all my podcasts, and I stream it. I don't go live, but I use a software called Riverside, and Riverside's allows you to have a second camera. But when you stream, you can't use those 2 cameras on YouTube. So when I went streaming, which is live stream, it was just me while Mike was talking. So that was another mistake. But hey, it's all good. It's all part of the journey. So for now, I'm out, and keep on watching me make mistakes, but keep on watching me correct those mistakes. Opportunity knocks.